Okay, so you're doing the podcast. The podcast is doing reasonably well. And then how does this Mr. Beast conversation start?
So in February this year, I got reached out to by a casting agent, just a random one, not tied to Mr. Beast, saying they were pitching a new show or for a YouTuber. They didn't tell us who it was until we signed an NDA.
Okay.
Signed the NDA and they say Mr. Beast. I've never watched a Mr. Beast video at that time.
But you know he's the king.
I knew who he was. I'd see stuff on him, but never watched his videos. They just said that we're looking for people that went to prison. Didn't tell me anything about cops or anything, just looking for people that went to prison. Hopped on the phone with her, did a quick call. It was like 20 minutes. And I told her she only wanted prison stories, like why I went to prison, then all the prison stories, gave her a tour of the prison cell I built. And normally, like I've been on the call with these casting agents. Normally it never goes anywhere. They reach out all the time. And I almost didn't do this one. I was like, this is just a waste of my time, but they were quick. They wanted to hop on the phone right away. So I did it. And that was it. 3 weeks go by. This is now like end of February, almost like the last week of February. Things start to move a lot quicker. I get a call from the head casting agent at Beast, go on a call with her, then get screened to the next level, which was another creative director with that head casting agent. Then I had to do a test with a psychologist. And the whole time they're telling you, you're not casted, you're still being considered. They don't tell you any info, nothing about prison. But they did at this point said it was a 100-day video. So I started looking at his 100-day videos, like the bunker one and a couple others. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. I could do this. And they ask you like, what are you going to do with the money? And everything like that if you win, but there's no promises. There's nothing.
And did it just feel like they were really just trying to figure out what kind of person you were or what you were going to be like? Or did it feel like they were testing you, trying to figure out that you would be kind of like unstable and interesting? Because like I feel like the number one thing they're trying to avoid is somebody who shows up, they're quiet, they don't say shit, they sit in the corner, they sleep, they just don't do anything interesting.
100%. They're testing your personality skills, which is why I think they were interested in me in the beginning, because I'm a content creator. So I think it was a plus that I was a content creator. They also it was hard for them. They needed to find the perfect criminal. They needed someone with a criminal record that wasn't too out there, like nothing dangerous, nothing violent, nothing that would like flag later, no pending arrest. Like they needed to craft that person. And then you're also looking at it as they need to find someone that's going to fit with this other person they're casting, which I knew nothing about.
And it's funny too, because like when I first saw that this was a video, I remember like saying in the group chat, like why does a cop need to like do this experiment to get to understand criminals better? Like a cop spends every moment of their day getting to know criminals and trying to understand what a criminal is going to do. And then I see you and I'm like, this is the criminal. Like you do you are a criminal. You were a person who went to prison, but it's like, obviously you don't check a lot of the boxes in terms of the criminals that I deal with. So I was pretty amused.
Did you remember who I was when you saw that?
Yeah. Yeah. And I've seen clips of you and stuff over the years, but I knew that you went to prison for like, high school dance, financial crimes. I'm like,
it was still federal prison though.
Yeah.
They were able to say federal prison.
It's just like, it seems like a joke crime in comparison to like, knowing all these people who go to prison for shooting people. And
they couldn't cast someone like that, from like the business aspect of it. I think it was too much of a liability.
It's not good for Feastables to be side by side with this guy with 3 bodies.
Yeah. So I ended up getting casted on 2 days before I went. They said, can you come the next day? I said, no, I have to edit all the podcasts. So I had like 70 podcasts in the bank.
You edit your own podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So me and Matt over there stayed up for 48 hours almost.
What are you even editing?
I have to put the interviews together.
Okay. But I mean, like, when I do an interview, like they just kind of give me timestamps. I say what I want the clips to be. There's no real editing.
Well, it's like putting the angles together. So you have to put your angles. You have to make the intro.
He's doing that right now.
Yeah,
so I don't have to do it after.
Switching and all that. But yeah, I have to put it because I set up my cameras. I don't have a crew or anything. I do it all myself. I hit record and I just put everything together. I pick my clips out and package it, upload it, pick the title, make the thumbnail, do all of that, upload it and get it scheduled, and then run my social media. So that we did 70 episodes and got them all scheduled on YouTube, Spotify, Apple from March 1st all the way till June.
Holy shit.
So it looked like I was still here. So there was a lot of people in the comments that were like, oh, this is fake, the 100 days, because he was still actively posting. And I'm glad I did this. I wasn't willing to leave my YouTube abandoned for 3 months, hoping that this would blow me up. Because imagine if I left it for 3 months and didn't do anything, it would kill everything I worked for.
Yeah.
And then not having like a big effect on it after.
Yeah.
So I did that, stayed up all night, and then flew to North Carolina on the day before, or it was March 1st. And then we started filming March 2nd. It was the first time I ever talked to Jimmy, Mr. Beast, and everything was a surprise. Didn't know it was going to be with a cop until I got in there. Didn't know it was a prison until I got in there. They're super professional, and it's all legit. He really built a real prison.
Really? Okay. Wait, so that building was not like a building that they rented?
No, he built that. He owns a plot of land where he built sets. So like the gym, did you see his gym video? Yeah. It was right across. So we were yelling to the gym guy at the thing. And
it's just so fascinating that it's more economical for him to build this building and then have you live in it than for him to like just rent one, which is what literally everyone else on earth would do. But I guess if you're going to stay in there for 3 months.
Yeah, and he has to retrofit it like with all the cameras, because there's cameras everywhere. Yeah. He's got to build the game into it, like with the controls, because all the like everything, it's built into something. But I always thought it was going to be prison related, because it's like, why else would you want me?
And they're asking all these questions about
exactly.
it. Yeah.
And when I got to the green room, like the trailer, because you're blindfolded and everything, I saw the prison outfits. So that was like 5 minutes before they chain shackled us and brought us over there. But I didn't know it was going to be with a cop.
What are the biggest differences in terms of how it looked on camera versus what it was like in real life?
So I think the biggest thing is that cell is way too big. So we were in one communal cell. In prison, you would either be at a lower security prison, you'd be in dorms, or if you're in an actual like solitary type cell. The solitary that he built was like half the size of a real solitary. He also didn't have bathrooms in it. So a real prison would have bathrooms. His toilet and shower was real. Like he had a real prison toilet that we used, real commissary items. Like I used one of those baby pocket toothbrushes for 100 days, prison soap, prison deodorant, prison clothes. Those are all 100% legit. Prison meals. But yeah, the biggest thing I'd say was like the full size room that we only got rec for an hour a day. Normally in prison, unless you're in a detention center or a high security, you're going to get rec every day.
All day.
Yeah.
See, that is one of the things that makes prison not sound that bad to me.
Oh, at a low, dude, they call it Club Fed. It's a country club.
Yeah.
At the camp, we had pickleball or tennis. We had 2 basketball courts, indoor, outdoor, a weight pit. Dude, this is the best part. We had a volleyball court outside, right? With sand. Like you're on a beach.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like pickleball.
Beach.
Like paying. I would pay money to take off work for 6 months and go get really good at pickleball.
Yeah,
that sounds fine.
So that's why I had such a miserable time doing the video, because it was nothing like prison for me was reading, cell phone, computer.
So it's worse.
Music. Yeah, this is what Jimmy's prison was way worse.
Yeah,
way worse. He made it hard.
But wait, okay, the actual experience versus the produced version that we saw on YouTube, what were the biggest differences in terms of like what it was really like?
So the biggest, I mean, they don't tell you to say anything, nothing's scripted, despite what people may say.
It felt like you went back and did some additional lines and stuff to really kind of bring it all together. Nothing like that?
No, we never went back to lines. I think what I've noticed, because I just did another podcast, these iced coffee hour guys, I didn't even know this was a thing.
Oh yeah.
But they use
Shout out Graham.
He's a good dude.
Yeah.
They use like AI voice on some lines, because I listened in some clips. I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't say that, but it wasn't anything bad. But I think when they need something punchy there, and I saw on like Artlist or whatever, or where I get my music from for the podcast, they now have AI voice, like you could put it in and it mimics your voice.
That makes sense. So rather than like even take the time to be like, hey, can you say this into the mic for us?
Yeah.
Just like, we're just gonna make it.
They didn't add anything that was like crazy or anything. Like they didn't do anything like that. I think it just fit the storyline. The drama was the only thing that was like, I guess you could say fake. Like we got along the whole time.
You're calling him a snitch and shit. I'm like, this
that was real. No, I called him.
But you're like around, right?
No, yeah, I was mad at him in the moment, but that was because the whole visit thing. I was pissed. I went to solitary, like I had like PTSD from going back in solitary and stuff like that. And he got to see my family, and I didn't get to talk to my family till day 80. when Jimmy let me get a FaceTime call.
When I was watching that though, I was like, you definitely need to give it to him because he has kids.
100%. That was going through my mind.
You see your mom, you see your dad, like, okay, like, you know.
If I had kids in a family, it would be way different.
Yeah. Then you'd have a reason to like, let's rock, paper, scissors this shit or something.
The snoring was real drama.
Oh yeah.
He snored so bad. That was real drama.
Yeah.
The book drama where we're talking about the books, me and Lenny came up to stage that. We winked at each other, but it was legit where Jimmy walked away and came back later on. But we started a whole fight. They thought we were going home. So we actually punked Jimmy. They'd never made the cut, but Jimmy actually thought we were going home, and he felt the tension that we created between us. And he was like, they were all really nervous. And they were like, we got you. I'm taking the library. Wow. So there was like that. That would have been a great scene in the video. Everything else. Oh, and the other thing that was they made it seem like The Rock, I didn't care about doing. I was busting my ass.
You're like watching him and ordering him.
I was busting my ass every day on that rock. I got beat up. I had cuts, blisters, everything. Yeah. Me and him grinded on that rock.
Yo, that rock kind of blew my mind. So you really you were making like no progress, and then you figured out the leverage thing, and then that really like changed everything.
So the first day, Lenny picked the rock challenge because I was busy on the phone with my parents on a FaceTime. So I let Lenny pick it. And so we're hammering it. We didn't even have the right chisel yet. They had given us like other tools and stuff. We couldn't get it figured out. We actually did go to the library, or I went to the library because I saw that book already, and I saw the book and I grabbed it, and it said you need a chisel. And then we started doing it that way. But on day like 7 of the rock challenge, Jimmy came with like some streamer because he would come in with streamers and stuff. And we're like, Jimmy, we don't think we're going to get through this rock. And you could tell like he actually felt bad. He leaves, and then all of a sudden like a big crack happens like on our own with the chisel. And then we whack it and the whole thing splits at the right moment because we were chiseling those parts. But that was all real. They weren't going to help us if we couldn't get through it.
It is crazy because it's like, how do you even put something inside a rock?
So what they did was they made a hole in the top of it, of the granite, and then filled it with cement. And then flipped it back over on its side. That's why we kept trying to push it.
So that thing that comes out of it, that was like dropped into it. And then did they like seal it in there?
Yeah. So they cemented. So they took.
And then they flipped it over so you couldn't see it.
That was the first thing we tried to do that, to flip it back over.
Wow.
Yeah, it was hard. And it was raining some days and it was brutal.
You know what it really made me think about too? Even when you guys like first get into the gym, of just like, if I only had 1 hour a day to get any kind of exercise, like what the am I going to do in my 1 hour in the gym? Like I'm picturing myself running over and just pounding out set after set after set on the bench. I mean, I don't know what the I would do really.
So we started bringing like some stuff inside, like weights and stuff. So we would do, our way was like, we would do like our like legs inside, push-ups and stuff, sit-ups. So when we went outside, we'd just hit chest press or pull-ups, and then we played basketball. We balled every day.
So I mean, that has to be kind of like a big decision because you're taking all these liberties and you're sort of like, you have the criminal mentality that I also have where you're like, well, I can't bring a book, but I can bring a page from the book. And if I can bring 1 page from the book, then I could bring 30 pages from a bunch of books. And if if we're only allowed to use the yard for working out for this amount of time, well, there's no reason why we can't bring the weights into the building so that we can use them whenever we want. But were you scared of doing that because you're kind of thinking that you might get disqualified or have money taken away?
Yeah, I almost didn't do a lot of things. I would have even done more, like on the kitchen. So they drained, because they had to fill that kitchen for, and when we didn't take it, they had to undrain it. There was a period of time where they had like a cart with all the food outside when we were at rec. I was going to steal it, but I was like, I don't know if this is taking it too far, because they would always say, this is your sandbox, do whatever, but don't break the game. In their eyes, breaking the game is like if you're breaking a door or something, not like what I did with the books. But I was nervous because in prison, if you broke a rule, like bringing in a cell phone, smuggling it, there's going to be some type of punishment, but they're not telling you any of that. They want you to do it all on your own. So it's organic, but I did that all organically.
But for you, like stealing the pages of the books and shit, it's like, you also have to be thinking, well, this is content.
That's what the other thing is. And I think that's why they wanted someone that was in content. Like I had talked to them after, like towards the end, they were like, we were surprised by how content oriented you were. I was always thinking about content.
Yeah.
We did so much content. Like we had an applesauce fight. We had a ketchup fight. We would just around, like do things because you're bored. Like we would do so many things, the paper airplanes. I would get into arguments with Jimmy every day he came, just like for content. And the book thing was definitely the biggest content related thing, whereas Lenny was way more conservative. He wouldn't have done that. Like
but he's got the cop mentality,
exactly,
which is like, there are rules, I'm going to follow the rules. Granted, obviously there's cops who do their own thing and everything, but for the most part, you become a cop because you want to follow these rules. Whereas for me, the mentality is like, well, why are there rules? And that's why it's honestly weird to have a kid, because it's like there's just all these rules and they don't really like there was a bug on the ground and I just like step on it and you just watch it's already dead.
Yeah.
And my wife is like, Adam, like I had just got done telling her that we don't kill bugs. And I'm like, well, I didn't kill it. It was already dead. And she's like, okay, but I still don't want her doing it. I'm like, but I'm not adding more harm into the world. I didn't do anything negative. It was already dead. She's like, okay. But like, she can't like figure out what the argument she wants to make is. She just knows that this is wrong. This is against the rule and we need to respect the rule. And in my head, it's like, why do we need a rule? Like, the rule has to make sense. The rule has to be because there's some thing that we want to prioritize. But yeah, like, okay, because even like the books, it's kind of like, to me, as soon as I saw the library, I started to be like, because it's like, you could give me any book and I'm going to sit here, I'm going to read the whole book if I have nothing else to do. Having nothing to do is the worst. And it's like, it would have killed me to just be sitting there on the bed staring into space thinking about the fact that there's like, Moby Dick right over there. Like the least appetizing book is still so much more interesting to me than not having a book.
Everything 420 really is that one-stop shop. Whether you're looking for your go-to gear or something new and unexpected, they got options for days, and they're always dropping mystery boxes and deals. The E420 app is clean, shipping is quick, and they literally have everything. Don't forget to use code NOJUMPER at checkout.